I believe it was Albert Einstein who said that imagination is the preview of life's attractions. In The Game of Life by Florence Scovel Shinn, she speaks about the imagination being used consciously to manifest. Neville Goddard, the famous metaphysician, said that it's imagination that creates your life. All of these spiritual teachers or metaphysical teachers, law of attraction teachers, all understood the power of imagination. Now I'm going to connect the power of semen retention and how it is going to explode your imagination and your ability to manifest the life you desire. Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Nakula Das, and I help men master their S3X energy so you can become a powerhouse both in and outside the bedroom. It all starts with the ability to control your genitals, control your ejaculation. And that's why I've created the free ejaculation control guide. So make sure that you go register for that free program and take advantage of that so that you can master your S3X energy and ultimately use the power of imagination to transform your life. Whether it's you want more money in your life, you got to get your finances in a better situation, you want to heal your body, maybe you're going through some health challenges or some issues, maybe you want a better relationship, you have to imagine it first. And whatever you imagine with enough faith, belief, positive energy behind it will come into fruition. There are two types of imaginations. Now I'm going to read to you a little bit from the book Think and Grow Rich by famous author Napoleon Hill. And he speaks about the imaginative faculty and that we have to learn to use our imagination. And one of the reasons that so many people haven't used their imagination or don't use their imagination is because it's like a muscle. You have to use it. We all have the capacity to expand and use our imagination. And imagination is where ultimately you're going to create a very unique and cool life for yourself. But if you don't use it and you don't protect it, then you're going to be like 95% of men. You're just going to be a slave to the system. You're just going to go along with whatever is in front of you, and ultimately you'll never really discover your true potential. So there's two types of imaginations, and I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm just going to read to you from one of the great masters on manifestation, Napoleon Hill. So the first type of imagination is called synthetic imagination. So Napoleon Hill says, through this faculty, one may arrange old concepts, ideas, or plans into new combinations. This faculty creates nothing. It merely works with the material of experience, education, and observation with which it is fed. It is the faculty used most by the inventor, with the exception of those who draws upon the creative imagination when he cannot solve his problem through synthetic imagination. So there's two types of imagination. The first one we're defining as synthetic imagination. This is why reading, listening to podcasts, listening to this channel is so important. The more that you're actually reading good things and putting positive impressions into your mind, the more positive impressions and information that you have to work with. When you have lots of positive impressions, you have lots of good things in your mind, and you run into some problem, which life will have its problems and challenges. It's not about avoiding problems or challenges. It's about learning how to use your imagination to transmute or transform your problem into an opportunity. Where most people see problem, oh my goodness, there's going to be a recession. There's a problem. I'm excited. Yes. You know what that means? There's going to be gaps in the market. There's going to be a need for new types of teachings. There's going to be a need for so people are going to have so many problems, which means anybody who's willing to work and solve those problems and bring creative solutions, they're going to get rich. So while everybody's thinking they're going to get poor, if you're with me, you're going to get rich. We're going to get rich because we're going to use our imagination and our God-given ability to create solutions for people. This is synthetic imagination, rearranging old ideas that you have into new combinations and using that to create new things or solve problems, whether it's financial problems, relationship problems, health problems, spiritual problems, to be able to make a positive impact and create your life. Now, the second type of imagination, Napoleon Hill defines as creative imagination. And here's what he has to say. Through the faculty of creative imagination, the finite mind of man has direct communication with infinite intelligence. So creative imagination, for example, this is where you hit the level of genius. Albert Einstein, brought the famous E equals MC squared. When they asked, where did you get it? He said he got it from the ether, or he downloaded it. He got it from creative imagination. He was in a high vibrational state and was inspired by it. We can call this inspired thought. Oftentimes when you get a hunch or you get a inclination, oh, maybe I should go here, and it doesn't seem logical. It kind of seems like maybe out of nowhere you got this idea. Well, those are the ones you really want to listen to and act upon right away. And the more that you act upon your intuitive thoughts or your imaginative thoughts, these creative imagination, you'll see that you will bypass years of struggle and you will quickly expand and grow your life and exponentially grow. So here's what he says. Through the faculty of creative imagination, the finite man of mind has direct communication with infinite intelligence. It is the faculty through which hunches and inspirations are received. It is by this faculty that all basic or new ideas are handed over to man. It is through this faculty that thought vibrations from the minds of others are received. It is through this faculty that one individual may tune in or communicate with the subconscious minds of other men. The creative imagination works automatically in the manner described in subsequent pages. This faculty functions only, and he puts only in capitals. So how do you tap into infinite intelligence or creative imagination? Only when the conscious mind is vibrating at an exceedingly rapid rate. As for example, when the conscious mind is stimulated through the emotion of a strong desire. What is the strongest desire in man? S3X, baby. So here's what happens when you practice semen retention. And I've known this from personal experience. Nikola Tesla knows this. Steve Jobs knows this. So many great inventors, businessmen, political leaders, spiritual leaders, Swami Vivekananda, Swami Shivananda. They all knew this. They all wrote about it. These are all, I'm mentioning these names because they've publicly documented their practice of semen retention or non-ejaculatory S3X. What ends up happening with semen retention is that your desire increases. And you circulate the energy through the body, which then stimulates your brain. And through the practices of S3X alchemy, which I teach in my Become an S3X Alchemist course, right, which is a full training program teaching you how to stimulate your own brain with your own S3X energy, and not like just mentally, like, oh, you will literally feel your brain like orgasmically charged up. Your brain, and therefore your conscious mind, will vibrate at high levels of existence. Here is when you are going to download or communicate with infinite intelligence, or what's known as the Akashic records, or the Akash, the ether, the mind of God, in which you will then receive plans for the fulfillment of your goals. So let's say you have a goal to be a millionaire, as an example, or you have the goal to have an awesome relationship, or you have the goal to become a leader in some capacity or advance in your company, whatever your goal is. You want to get clearly defined in that goal. Then you want to hand that goal over to God. You want to hand that goal over to infinite intelligence and say, I am open to receiving the plans that will help me achieve this goal. So what you do is you start to use the faculty of imagination. First, synthetic imagination. You'll start to imagine by your own knowledge, experiences, and whatever's impressed upon your mind, what you can imagine of that. So let's say you want to be a millionaire. You're imagining $1 million. You're imagining $1 million. You're imagining $1 million in the bank account. Then, through the practice of S3X alchemy, you're going to then learn to practice semen retention, and you're going to learn to draw that energy up, all of that energy, all of that desire, and transmute it or alchemize it from raw S3X expression into your brain, up the body, through the spine, into your brain, where then you are going to start to vibrate or have strong desire. You need white, hot, passionate desire. If you're on the spiritual path and want to know God, you have to want to know God. Like, you have to want it. Whatever you dominantly want is what you're going to eventually bring into your life. And so what you start to do, so you're imagining this $1 million, but now you're infusing or marrying strong desire with that goal. And when you are vibrating at that level, you will then receive, in a meditative state, plans will be handed over to you through the faculty of your sixth sense, or what will seem like a hunch or intuition or a knowingness. It may also speak to you. Maybe a book stands out in front of you. A person stands out to you. You happen to come to a YouTube channel, so you subscribe. And then you go on to work with that person. Right? You will hear the thoughts that are necessary. And somehow or the other, this is where you have to be open. You will receive the plans for your goals to come into fruition. And because you're a man of action, you're a man of power, you're going to take action on those plans, and then you're going to see them come into fruition. And the more you do this, the more your faith will increase, until you get to the point where you have unshakable faith or absolute belief in the process. And at that point, you will be in the rare percentage of men. You will become a genius in your own right. Whatever nature has given you will increase all your faculties. And it all starts with marrying imagination with strong desire. And the fastest way to do that, the quickest way to do that, and the strongest desire we have is S3X energy. So by marrying those two together, you have a powerhouse combination. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you go take the free ejaculation control guide, because you'll never be able to hit those levels if you're ejaculating all the time and lowering the vibration of your conscious mind. Peace.